Hello, welcome back. My name is Adine. This is my beautiful wife Melinda. We're also known as Hustlin' Hooks. Today is a what sold over the weekend video. I only have so many tops to wear, and I'm just wearing dope. This one's dope, so I'm just wearing the same thing as I think last weekend. Anyways, we're going to do things just slightly different this time around. We're going to go by categories. We're going to pack things up, show you that process, and then move on to the next category. And then at the end, we'll do all the miscellaneous.
Yeah, and to start us off, we're gonna knock out some shoes and clothes.
Let's go.
So clothes that sold this weekend. I'm gonna knock out our Posh sales first. These are Buffalo David, Adine says Baton. I've been saying Bitten. So one of us is right and one of us is wrong. What are your thoughts? Either way, these ones sold on Posh, offer of $27, and when we take their offers, they pay the full shipping cost. Those jeans were from Goodwill, so we have $5 into those. We also sold this super distressed Carhartt. We really like selling this type of stuff. I mean, it's destroyed, basically. We've sold worse. We have sold worse. But this has got some good conditioning to it, right? Very authentic. Somebody worked hard in this, and somebody's gonna wear it and look like they worked really hard in it. And they paid us $55 on Posh. We had it listed for $65. They sent an offer of $45, and we met in the middle at $55. Again, their offer, they're gonna pay shipping. We have 10 into it.
Let me just show you guys the distressing on this thing. So you have the authentic paint, of course. Then here you have some pink paint from some job. And then, of course, you have... That just
makes it hip.
Oh, yeah. That's
relevant.
That's fashion. And then it's just ripped apart. So, again, don't pass on these old Carhartts, even if they're in this destroyed condition, especially if they're USA made. It's still a good jacket. The liner is still good. It's still going to keep someone warm. So there's always this debate that Melinda and I have, is like, did someone buy this thing for fashion, or is someone actually gonna like work in this thing? And either way,
it's held up through all of this, so it's a quality jacket, right? It's
definitely quality. I mean, this thing is gonna last another, 15 years of hard work.
And then sell for even more.
And then sell for a lot more. It'll be extra vintage. Anyhow.
Okay, so we also sold this Eddie Bauer. This is a men's. It's a 80% down lightweight bubble jacket. It's kind of getting to the end of winter, but this sold within, I think, a day. I listed it and sold the very next day. So I picked it up for $7 at Goodwill, and it sold for $40. This one also sold very quickly, again, within a day. It is a vintage Holloway. Again, just very light, packable puffer jacket. It doesn't really have a lot of the bubble to it. And good quality, got that heavy duty zipper. I picked this up for $4 at our local Goodwill, and it sold for $35. These are both lightweight, so they both should ship first class. Less than $5. We also sold these designed exclusively for Buckle mech jeans. Got some razzle dazzle on the pockets. That's always a good sign. The thick contrast stitching. These, again, $5 from our local thrift. And they sold for $38, and they'll be $7.18 to ship. And then our last pair, quick flip on these, as they usually are. Rock Revival, the blingiest king of bling jeans. These are the Ronnie, and they're even missing the R. So these are Rock Revival jeans. We paid $10 for this pair and another pair, so $10 a piece. These ones already sold for $90, which obviously more than covers that, well into the profit. And these are heavy, but we're gonna get them into a flat rate envelope, so they'll ship for $7.18 as well. Adine's gonna go over the shoes for you.
So here are the shoes. I just wanted to show you kind of the spread so you can see that we do sell a good variety of shoes and a variety of brands. So we have 2 Nikes, a Keds, an Asics, Sperry, and a pair of Bournes. So just keep that in mind. You can win reselling shoes across many brands, and sometimes you're going to run into brands that you've never even heard of, like for example On Cloud is a fantastic shoe brand made by the Swiss that sells for a lot of money, brand new, and of course has a really strong following. Another one might be Hoka. Maybe you've never heard of Hoka, but Hoka is another fantastic brand that resells for a lot of money and super quickly. So just because you might not know a certain brand, do some research. If you find a pair of shoes that you've never seen before, just look them up, sort high to low, see how many are available, how many sold, and see if you can make money flipping them. And if that sell-through rate is typically 40% or higher, what we choose to invest our money into, then you have a pretty good chance to sell them. So let's go through these pairs and I'll show you what they sold for. As you guys know, we do sell all of our shoes and clothing on Poshmark and eBay. We listed first on eBay and then we cross-listed on Poshmark. And we find that we sell about 1,000 or more per month on Poshmark Grow, so it's just a nice little addition to our main source of income. We had one pair of shoes sell on Poshmark, which were these Nikes. They are excellent condition. We got these at a private pick. We actually have two of the Nikes in here from a private pick, so what that really means is that we tell people what we do, and then they say, hey, we have stuff, do you want to buy it to resell? And we say yes or no. So we have about $6 into these. They're excellent condition. They're a pair of Nike Windflow number 5s is the brand on them, or the model. Treads are excellent condition as well. They have reflective striping on them, so they're meant for running, and they're water repellent, which is pretty cool. They sold for $28. They're going to pay for shipping. We had one pair of Born sell. Born is a pretty good shoe brand. These took a while. Sandals don't do very well for us. We don't have that many for sale anyways. They sold for $25. We have $4 into them. It's not going to be a lot of profit. It'll be like a $6 profit after shipping. We pay for shipping. So we sent out an offer just to get rid of these, as they've been sitting in our store for quite some time. A pair of Keds sold. We've sold Keds before. These were like new condition. You can see that the treads are just excellent. They have this wool type of fabric on top. There's no damage on them. You can see, if you look at the inside of a shoe, that, you know, if this stuff isn't worn out and everything is pretty much mint. These were only worn a couple of times. So we sold them for $35. We pay shipping, which on shoes is basically anywhere from $8 to $12 depending on the weight and where they're going. These Asics sold. These are the Gel Nimbus 19s. With a lot of the shoe brands or shoe models, they have consecutive numbers in their model. So typically the higher the number, the more modern the model is. So maybe like a Nike Pegasus 38, right, might be the newest version of that type of shoe. So anyways, these sold relatively quickly for us. They have some wear on the treads, which is okay as long as they're not unevenly worn. They sold for $40 with free shipping. Again, $9 to $12 to ship them out. These Sperry's sold. Sperry Topsider is a great brand. Again, look at the condition on these. Someone donated these. They're like brand new. There's almost no wear at all on the bottoms. And the leather literally just needed a damn cloth just to clean it up. We didn't polish them or anything. They sold for $40 with free shipping. And again, with all of these shoes, we have about $6 on average into them. The last pair is this Nike free running shoes. Again, from that private pick. They're lightweight. We might try to ship these first class in a poly mailer. If they exceed a pound, then we're going to ship them priority mail. Super neat. Look at the treads again. They're like new. One trick when you're running into these Nikes or any shoes, what you want to do is bend the bottoms and make sure that everything is working properly, that they're not damaged or flaking. You can do this with a lot of rubber soled shoes. For example, these Asics, you can do the same thing. And just make sure that there's no damage that, you know, it's going to unglue itself from the tread of the bottom of the shoe. We're going to show you real quick how we package up all of our clothing and all of our shoes. It's very straightforward, and then we're going to jump into the next category. Toddy, our friends on YouTube, they wanted to say hello to you. They said, where's our pretty Toddy and how's she doing? Can you say hello? Can you shake? You want to shake? Like, are you too tired to shake? You can do a little shake. Tell them I'm doing pretty good for my old age. Just relaxing, watching my people. Licking my little Jessie right on the face. I know I'm not supposed to, but I do. Because it's what I do as a doggy. You're a good girl. Toddy's doing very well, for anybody asking. She's just relaxing. She has her little pillows, little pillow blankets. She's She's doing well. Staying nice and warm.
I'm going to be packing up the shoes. I have them all laid out here. The reason I have a scale out is because these are, when you pick them up, they're very light. So they're sort of on the edge of, well, maybe they'll be first class. So what we do is we'll just pop them on here without any packaging or anything and see what the weight is. So it's 14 ounces. We're going to put these ones in a poly bag. Now these ones might be under a pound as well, but they're paying shipping. So we're going to get that shipping label through Posh, which means we're still going to put it into a priority mail box. And these are the priority mail shoe boxes. We order these from USPS.com. We get these free delivered to our door. And as you might imagine, they fit standard size shoes. We don't have any boots to pack up. With boots, we do use the USPS 12 by 12 by 8 because boots are just too bulky to fit into these ones. So what we'll do is I will go through and I'll tape down the bottoms of all the boxes I need. Then we stuff a little bit of craft paper at the bottom. We'll wrap the shoes in craft paper, stuff them in, stuff any more if we need to with craft paper, and then close it up. And as we're closing them, I'm writing the shoe on there, and we'll cover that with the shipping label, just so when we go to ship them, we know which label goes on which box. So let's get that done. So there's all the shoes. You'll get quicker and faster once you start selling more in one category. And we find through every process, start to finish, that batching is faster. Just like you saw, we knocked out all the shoes, and it was a lot quicker than, say, doing one pair of shoes and maybe going over and packing some pots and pans, and then doing a shirt, and then coming back and getting another box ready. This, it just went one right after the other. So that's one way to build in efficiencies to your business as well. Next, we're going to do clothes. So now I'm going to do clothes. For clothes, everything gets put in a poly bag. We have 3 different sizes. We have a 10 by 13. This is what all of our jeans go in, and probably this lighter puffer because it's very small and very packable. We have a 14 by 19, and then a 24 by 24. These big ones get used for large jackets like these Carhartts, and these mid-size ones usually fit these lighter jackets or bigger, bulkier sweaters if you can't get them down to a 10 by 13. Then the jeans we put in our priority mail flat rates, except for the Poshmark ones. I usually forget and I put the Poshmark ones in here anyway, but they don't technically need to go in here because you're not really saving anything on shipping by doing it. But you can put them in here, and then there's $7.18 to ship. There are some notable differences between the flat rate packaging and the regular priority. They both ship the same speed. That is not one of the differences. But one difference is you can modify the regular priority mail boxes. You cannot modify a flat rate packaging of any sort. It has to fit in that package unmodified. With flat rate, obviously, just as it sounds, it's going to ship for one specific rate. So you cannot do calculated shipping with a flat rate packaging. Priority mail is where you're going to do calculated shipping, and most things fit better in larger priority mail boxes. That's why you don't see us using flat rates for everything. And then, of course, you cannot ship first class items in any priority mail packaging. So if it is under a pound, you have to find a different box, just a regular brown box, something else to ship it in, because you cannot put it into something that says priority. That being said, I'm going to start packing these up, and you can just watch as I go. So hopefully that helps somebody out there with packing up clothes and shoes. The next category is we're going to get into some housewares. Pretty light on housewares so far this weekend. It's about 4 o'clock on Sunday, so we might get some more orders yet. If we do, we'll include them later. For now, I'm going to cover these two, which were both bought on Facebook Marketplace. This Calphalon knife set, how we're going to pack that is we're going to take each knife out individually, and we're going to wrap it, and then we're going to bubble wrap them all together, and then of course the block will be separate. We picked this up for $15, and we sold it for $95. This we picked up on Thursday, actually. It was part of a little bulk buy, so about $10 into it, and it sold today for $75. Now, for packing this, we're going to do what we always do, which is wrap the pan lid in brown packing paper, invert it, wrap the rest of it in brown packing paper together, and then put it in a box, put in packing paper around the box so there's no wiggle or jiggle, and then wrap it up.
So when packing something like this up, one main concern that we have is when they get the product that they don't cut themselves, because these are pretty sharp knives. I mean, this is really, really good quality Calphalon stainless steel knife. So what we're going to do is wrap every single knife in paper. We're going to tape every single one shut, and then we're going to combine all of them. We're going to bubble wrap a few times over to protect the plastic hand. These are actually tough, hard plastic, but just to protect it from any potential damage. The block we're not worried about. We've shipped several of these blocks by themselves, and typically we don't even bubble wrap them or paper wrap them because it's a wood block, right? You have to think, anytime that you're packing something to ship out, just think of like, what is the likelihood this is going to get damaged, and that should be the level of packing material that you put towards it. There's no reason to bubble wrap shoes, there's no reason to bubble wrap clothing, right? So that's what we're gonna do. I'll show you what that looks like before we get into a box. Here are all the knives in paper. So again, just to protect the buyer from getting cut. So instead of wasting time and taping each one, all I'm going to do is stack them into 2 different piles, and I'm going to bubble wrap them, and then I'm going to tape the bubble wrap. That bubble wrap will basically keep them all together. So let me show you that. Here's the final product. So now I just need to find a box to fit them in, which I'm not going to show you because it's just putting stuff in a box. If you have a better way or another way to ship knives like this, please share it in the comments below. We would really like to know your insight of how you ship them, and let us know what you guys think about this method. Again, I didn't waste my time individually taping every single piece of cardboard shut. I used the bubble wrap to contain everything. Now, the way, any way that they handle this, they are not going to get cut. Obviously, they need to be careful when they unwrap it. And again, I'm not going to bubble wrap this because this is a solid block of wood. I'm just going to fit in a box and we'll go from there. Welcome back. Even though you have not left, it is now about 9 o'clock at night. Let's finish off the rest of the sales. We're going to get all this stuff packed up and out the door. I'm going to cover electronics that sold. A couple of video games that sold. These are both for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. DuckTales, in excellent condition with the original sleeve, sold for $28. And Bubble Bobble sold for $25. Just a tip, if you ever run into Bubble Bobble 2, it's worth a lot more than 25 bucks shipped, so take a look at that. Anytime you have these old video games, look them up individually for their value. The other one that sold was Super Mario Galaxy. This is the second copy we've sold recently. This one sold for $25. You have about $5 into Mario Galaxy and a couple of dollars into each of the Nintendo Entertainment System games. Those are super easy sellers, always fast and out the door. Moving on to bigger electronics that sold this weekend. The first one sold really fast. This is another Sony DVD VCR combo unit. We have $15 into it, and it sold for $75 plus shipping on Facebook Marketplace, which is a place that we're starting to cross-list a lot more thanks to Melinda, and we're seeing some pretty quick results. So as always, we include a pair of audio video cables. We get these in bulk for about $1 each. So that one's going to be out the door. And then we sold the Cadillac, or one of the Cadillacs, of CD players. This is a big one. Another Sony 400 CD capacity CD player. That's really what it is. It's a big CD player. Put it down. That thing came in a bundle where I bought the CD player, an amplifier, and a couple of other vintage electronics, all for $25. So we have about $10 roughly into it. That's what we allocated. Huge profit margin. It looks huge. It's really not that difficult to pack. It just needs padding with either styrofoam scrap pieces, egg carton scrap pieces, something just to keep it protected. It's going to take a little bit of time to package it, but it's really not that big of a deal. And the last piece of electronics, this is another CD player. This one is not as valuable as that Sony. This is a Panasonic compact disc changer. It holds 5 CDs. This one sold for $40, also on Facebook Marketplace. Melinda's going to be meeting with a person on Monday that bought them. It's going to be a local transaction, so that one's out the door as well. I'm going to hand it back to Melinda. She's going to cover some miscellaneous items, including some Pokemon cards that sold.
So I'm back to cover everything else that doesn't really fit into a category. We sold these Pokemon cards. We only have about 10 cents into these. Early on in our reselling adventures, we got lucky and found a hoarding situation, and this was in there. So it came with a lot of cards. These had value on their own. They're from the movie Mewtwo Strikes Back, and they're like a textured card, so they're unique. It's not a complete set, but we have, say, 10 cents into them, and they still sold for $60. We also sold another pair of rollerblades. We've sold rollerblades before. They actually do pretty all right for us. They do have nicks and scratches, but overall, besides those, really good condition, clean on the inside, no pilling, anything like that. We have $5 into this pair, and they sold for $45. Next, we have this Irwin saw. It's still in the packaging. The packaging is a bit roughed up, and there's still a little bit, of storage wear. We got this up north at a random barn sale. It was with a lot of stuff. We have about $1 into this saw, and it sold for $20. We got this at the same barn sale. It is a starter motor. This is for like tractors. Again, it's one of those things that you buy when you need it. So they sell semi-regularly for us. They're sort of filtering through. We have about $5 into it, and it sold for $38. Next, we sold a bunch of these vintage sewing patterns. I'll take some out. They're very random, vintage, some modern, some bridal, some crafts, but they're all by the brand McCall's. I picked up a whole tub of these from a new thrift store I visited, I think a week ago now, but we just listed them recently. They actually sold pretty quick. We've sold vintage sewing patterns before, but last time we did just one really big lot. So we tried splitting them into smaller lots by the brand this time. So far it's paid off. We have $40 into the whole tub. We have 4 lots, so $10 into this. It's going international, so we have to get it to Kentucky, and it sold for $40. So this one I'm not going to take out of the bag. We'll just pop it up here for you. These are parts from an RC car that had a little bit of damage. So we decided to take it apart and sell just the pieces separately. These are the tires, wheels, screws, and they probably maybe a couple bucks into it at most. And they sold for $25. Next we have another set of Monster High dolls. It's a set of 3. It is Boo York series dolls. She's missing an arm and a hand, but she's a little bit rare. The other 2 are just regular, and they come with their accessories. We're already into the profit on this lot. We have been for a while. We're just selling off the stragglers now, really. We have a couple bucks into this set, and they sold for $40. And last, we have this Corningware pot and pan. It's got the spout on the side, really good condition, small saucepan. We have $3 into it. It sold for $38. So that's it for sales, at least so far. Adine's going to come back and cover the numbers after we get this all packed up. One more we almost forgot about is we also sold our first GeoTrax lot. If you remember our video, I was a week ago, we were organizing everything, trying to figure things out. So one of those lots did end up selling. It sold on Facebook Marketplace the same day it was listed, and it was $45 cash in hand. So really happy with that. We have $100 into everything, so that's almost half the cost of goods covered with one set.
So it's pretty early in the morning or late at night. It's about midnight. We had 2 more sales come right in, so let me show you what those were. They're pretty good. The first one was a lot of geotracks, so another one off of that big lot that I picked up of Facebook Marketplace. This one sold for $60 shipped. I'm not going to take it out. I do need to find a bigger box and get everything bubble wrapped and shipped out. Nice sale. Really happy to see this stuff move so quickly. Only took about 2 days to sell. Now this one is pretty crazy. You guys might not know about this kind of stuff or this type of keyboard in general. This is an older Microsoft keyboard. It does have a wireless mouse and it has the receiver piece that's right in here. I picked this up for $9 off of Facebook Marketplace, and you can see the model is right here, so it's pretty easy to look these up. This combination sold for $220 out the door. $220, it's shipping to Florida. It'll cost about $15 to ship it. So obviously a very, very, very good way to end the month of February. So bubble wrap this thing up, pop it into a box, and we'll go over the numbers. Okay, let's go through the numbers. So Friday through Sunday, that's what we consider our weekends, everything that's sold in this video. We had 30 sales for $1,867 in gross sales. We of course have cost of goods, which in this case we sold $231 worth. We paid $249 in shipping. Remember, we offer free shipping on all of our eBay orders. Facebook Marketplace and Poshmark, the customer pays for shipping. We paid $222 in fees all across. And I was able to get all these numbers within 15 minutes using that spreadsheet that we are promoting, that we've built. And you can check that out yourself in the link below. We've also made a video covering it. So if you haven't checked it out, take a look and see if it's something that you might be interested in. It'll definitely help you with your numbers and get you ready for taxes pretty quickly. So after fees, we were left with taxable net profit of $1,144. Which of course is taxable, and 30% of that is what we were going to put aside, which is $343 for the tax man, which leaves us with $801 in cash profit. So this weekend we made $801 cash selling stuff on the internet. Not bad at all. As the Germans would say, das ist alles. That's it. That's all of our weekend sales.
Yeah, and it's also the last day of February, so that was a really strong way to end the month. Very pleased with that. Over $1,500, can't complain.
Yeah, it felt a lot more normal than it did last weekend. Even though last weekend I think we wrapped up $1,300 in sales, but it just felt so like super slow, where this weekend was much more consistent. And we'll be listing a lot more on Facebook Marketplace, as that's definitely taken off for a lot of resellers, including us.
Yeah, so we finally got on the train with all the buzz. Things have been selling really fast for people and took the plunge. We really just started doing it Friday, maybe Thursday. I think it was Thursday. I listed something on there and it sold within 10 minutes. And
okay,
a little bit after that is when I sold that CD player that I'll be doing the pickup for tomorrow. And I just, when we would list something just seemed to sell really quickly. So we're on board for now. We'll obviously see how it plays out. It doesn't have the history that eBay does, or the rules and regulations that Posh lays out. Right. So it's still new. We're still gonna play around with it and see what works for us selling on there, definitely. But that'll be a video for the future, so stay tuned for that. So far, pleased with the sales that have come from it.
Yeah, for sure. And we are of the mindset that you should master one platform and then cross-list to another one. And we're always trying to keep checks and balances of how many different platforms and how much engagement we want with people. And so there's a lot that we're trying to keep track of as we're continuously trying to build in efficiencies into all of the processes. As we've said before, we're looking to build a company out of this. We're not just looking to be a team of resellers. So we still have to see, but yeah, so far so good. I'm pretty happy with it.
For sure.
It's extra sales.
that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Give us the thumbs up if you like it. And until next time, take care.
See ya.